back for another video. My name is Rocco Acilio, All-Star Insurance Specialist. I help the vintage age generation worry less and live more all throughout the plan year, not just during enrollment season. And today's video, we're not going to talk about Medicare. We're actually going to focus on life insurance for a couple of minutes. We're going to talk specifically about a category of life insurance that I've been getting a lot of questions and inquiries, both from existing clients that I have and people that I meet out in the marketplace. And it has to do with the legitimacy of offers that they're receiving in the mail that are saying, we guarantee you, without asking you any medical questions, that you will be approved for a certain amount of life insurance. Just call us back and we'll help you get started with it. So if you've ever wondered if that's a scam, if it's not a scam, then you're in the right spot. And I'm ready to just dive in and break it down. So let's go after it. Okay, so when it comes to these types of life insurance policies, where you can get approved supposedly without having to answer any medical questions, I'm going to go ahead and bury the lead and tell you that they are not a scam, and I'm actually very grateful that those types of policies exist, because there are people out there that have serious medical conditions who desire to have life insurance. And most likely, if they were to go ahead and go through a questionnaire application and have to be underwritten medically, that they just wouldn't get approved. So these policies that exist out there, I'm very grateful that they are there, because it gives people the opportunity to get some insurance in place. Now, there is certainly some caveats that come with those types of policies, and I want to address that as well in this video, but it's important for me to also talk about the advertising component for a second, because one of the things that I do not appreciate is that when these policies are getting advertised out there, whether it's through the internet or stuff getting shoved in your mailbox, phone calls coming in, certainly the television commercials, the design of those policies are to be able to help people who have serious health conditions get approved for life insurance. So imagine this scenario. You're getting yourself together in the morning. You got the breakfast going. Maybe you're making a cup of coffee and the TV's on in the background. And maybe you've picked up some sort of a medical condition in the past couple of years. And now you realize, you hear that ad and they say, hey, if you haven't gotten life insurance yet, give us a call. Be guaranteed acceptance, no medical questions asked. And because that's been sitting with you for a bit, you hear that offer and you're like, wow, that could be me. I could actually get approved. So we run and make that phone call. And you know what? When you talk to an agent on the other end of the line there for that insurance company, they're not giving you bad information. They will tell you, you will certainly qualify for this policy. We're not going to ask you any medical questions. And you could feel like that you've actually found the right thing to do, and then you move forward and you take out that policy. Now, you have to know that when you take out that policy, what we call guaranteed issue or guaranteed acceptance, they are going to come with what's called a waiting period. And basically the caveat is this: the insurance company is saying that, look, we will give you insurance, but because we're not asking you any medical questions, we're actually going to make you make premium payments on that policy for 2 full years before the face amount of coverage actually kicks in, meaning that you're not really going to be covered for the full amount of the insurance during that waiting period, right? Because they want to see if you're going to be able to make it through. That's how they are able to hedge their risk by not asking you any medical questions. The assumption there is if you make it past that 24-month waiting period, now, and sometimes they could even be longer than that, but most policies are going to be around a 2-year waiting period, then the full amount of the insurance kicks in. Now, what happens if somebody passes away before that 2-year period is up? In most cases, what's going to wind up happening is whatever premium payments that you made into that policy is going to get returned back to your beneficiary, along with some interest on the money. It can be anywhere from 5 to 10%. It just depends on the company that you're working with. So as I mentioned, I am very grateful that these policies exist, but it's something that needs to be explained with the person taking out the coverage, because the money is never lost. When you are paying into the premiums, even if the insurance does not pay out, the money that you paid in the premiums will get returned. What I don't appreciate is really two things when it comes to the marketing. Sometimes you could have a disingenuous agent that might not fully explain how that 2-year wait could work, because people might get discouraged and say, you know what, forget it. It's not even worth it. I don't even want to waste time on something like that. But then the other component of it is that even if it is explained properly, I don't feel like that the folks really spend enough time to understand that they might be able to get a fully underwritten policy even though they have a medical condition with another company. Meaning that if I worked for one of those companies that only offers guaranteed acceptance insurance policies and I'm not asking you any medical questions, there's really no reason for me to talk about the fact that, like, hey, even though you might have this medical condition going on, you might be able to still get approved for a policy where you could get coverage kicking in the same day, right when you start. And that is something I think is really disingenuous for the most part, because there are a lot of different life insurance companies out there that are willing to take risks on people that have certain medical conditions. When I say they take risks, meaning that they won't make you wait 2 years before that insurance kicks in. So the value for something like that for you could not only mean that you get immediate insurance, but also the premiums when you are fully underwritten are usually cheaper than what they are when you take out a guaranteed issue life insurance policy. Just because of the fact that there's more risk involved for the insurance company. So they're going to make you wait 2 years before the coverage kicks in, and they're going to charge you more for that insurance than if you were medically underwritten. You know, for example, just take a condition like diabetes. Somebody gets a diagnosis recently of diabetes, and now all of a sudden they might feel like, oh man, now I'm not going to get qualified for life insurance. And that's not entirely true. So of course they could go and get one of these guaranteed issue policies, but there are many life insurance companies out there that will still issue a policy for somebody that is diabetic. They will prove them medically through underwriting and still give them first day coverage, and they can wind up with a much better insurance policy than, say, one of these other types of policies that are out there. And the advertising, they just really spend so much time with that there's very little time to put the education behind it. So you have somebody with their good intentions on the other end of the phone saying, well, this is the best plan that we have. They're really most likely might not even know themselves that there are other options with other companies out there. So they're doing the best they have of what they have to work with. So I'm telling you that in many cases, it's very, very much in your interest to not just take the first option that comes your way. You should check with other insurance companies. You should check with an agent who is able to shop multiple different carriers and doesn't work directly with one company, so they can sort it out and find for you what the best policy is for your unique situation. And look, at the end of the day, if there's such where you have to take one of these guaranteed acceptance, no medical questions asked policy, then at least you know the due diligence has been done. So when you put your head on your pillow at night, you could say, well, I've explored every other alternative. This is my best option given the situation that I'm in. And at least you know and are fully aware of the consequences of what happens if something were to happen, God forbid, in that 2 year waiting period, that all that money is not lost. But you know all that going into, and I just think that that's left out of the marketing and the advertising for a lot of the different reasons there. So anyway, I hope that was a good explanation for you. And as always, we stand by here. You can reach out anytime. Happy to answer questions in more details, even look at different options that are out there and that sort of thing. But my advice is, when it comes to some of the mass marketing advertising that's out there, the louder that the advertising is, there's usually less education behind it because all their resources and money is put towards that. So I would just encourage you, just because you hear the same commercial 150 times a day does not mean it's got your best interest at hand, especially when it comes to selecting a life insurance policy for you when they have such a narrow category there, okay? So I hope that makes sense. If you have any questions, put them in the comments there below. If you have any ideas on other types of topics you think could be useful for you that we can discuss here on the channel, we'd love to do so for that. So engage with us, subscribe, get notifications so when we put up a new video, you're aware of it, all right? Thanks for watching. We'll catch you on the next one.